you do have a bit of a sun resource in the wintertime. And so in Calgary here and a lot of Canada, we get fairly decent sun, and even in the northern United States, you guys get fairly decent sun. You do get to extreme temperatures, and so we don't necessarily want to have glazing on all 6 sides. And so that's really what differentiates a passive solar greenhouse versus a regular greenhouse. So a passive has only one glazing surface typically on the south side, whereas a standard greenhouse is going to have glazing on all 6 sides. Now, obviously, if you're creating a structure that's designed to harvest sunlight, I mean, basically all a greenhouse is a solar collector. It's basically a giant solar oven that we design to stay at a certain temperature, and we do that by either selecting the right site, choosing the right ventilation strategy, and making sure that we're getting enough air movement through the space. One of the most important things that you can do is get your site selection right. Now, it turns out that the optimal, write this one down, this is an important note, the most optimal orientation for a passive solar greenhouse in the northern hemisphere is 15 degrees off south towards the east, so 15 degrees to the southeast. And the reason for that is that it's coldest at night, just before the sun comes up, basically, which makes sense because if the sun's been down all night, then the atmosphere is going to be absolutely the coldest point in the diurnal cycle right before the sun comes up the next morning. And so your greenhouse is going to follow that similar trend. And so having your greenhouse slightly oriented to the southeast by about 15 degrees is going to give you access to that early morning sun and warm your greenhouse up earlier. And it will also help you to reject a little bit of the western sun, which is typically the hottest sun of the day, or the time of day when your greenhouse is hottest, and you actually don't need any more thermal energy. So it helps to reject some of the afternoon sun and absorb the much needed early morning sun. Having said that, you can design your greenhouse and succeed with it within 45 degrees either to the east or to the west. And you will not see that much of a solar loss. So as on this slide, for example, and I've got a house in there instead of a greenhouse, but the house that's 45 degrees off of south will still get 70% of the sun that a greenhouse gets when it's directly due south. So what I'm saying there is if you don't have an optimal site where you can be 15 degrees over to the east or directly south, it's okay. You're still going to get a pretty good result as long as you're within 45 degrees of due south, if that makes sense.